Leaving behind our blue Earth and the Moon, we have moved 40 million kilometers ahead. See the Sun, bright and fiery, 110 million kilometers away. Between our land and the Sun exists the land where Doomsday falls every day. Here the Sun rises in the west. It is the planet Venus, the twin planet of the Earth. But how twin? The Earth is like paradise, blue, beautiful, full of plants, vibrant with human laughters and lives. But the Venus, my God, the heat at the Venus beats the fire of the alive volcanoes. The land of the Venus emits fire and the clouds shower acid. Here sulfuric acid rains. But how do we know all that? How do we get the information of a body millions of miles away from the Earth? Is the Venus, the goddess of love for the Romans, which we call the evening star, livable by the human beings? Does life exist at the Venus? Which celestial body can be burnt to ashes for being the nearest to the Sun? But it has the seas of ice on its surface. How and why it could be possible? The Venus is the planet that appears the brightest in the sky before the dawn and the dusk from the Earth. The Venus is not the largest planet of the solar system, but why it looks the brightest of all? One reason is its being the nearest to the Earth. The second most important reason is the heavy clouds of gases floating all around the Venus. These clouds are so thick that they reflect 70% of light from the Sun on it. That is why the Venus appears the brightest after the moon in the sky. When the night gets dark, the same Venus raises hope of a bright morning among the hopeful. This planet is charming from the outside, but equally horrific from the inside. A 250 kilometers thick and dense layer of gases encircles the planet Venus. A highly terrible scene emerges when one goes down, piercing through those clouds of gases. God forfend, any glimpse of the hell can only be found at the Venus if one imagines it on the Earth. The land of Venus is bursting out lava all the times. As we have forests on our land, the Venus has the jungles of volcanoes. But they are not merely volcanoes. Here's also stormy rains of the acids every time. Here sulfuric acid rains like explosion of the clouds during monsoon on the Earth. Keeping the volcanoes and the acidic rains in the mind, you hear further. The thunderous winds at the pace of hundreds of kilometers per hour also blow on the Venus. We name Hurricane 1, 2, 3 and 4 as per the intensity of the storm on the Earth. Hurricane 5 is the highest category of the storm anywhere on the Earth. The hurricane throws down the trees, blows out roofs and renders the locality unlivable where it occurs. Hurricane 5 blows at the speed of 250 kilometers per hour, while the storms on the Venus run at the speed of 360 kilometers per hour. Acidic rains, severe storms, and a 250-kilometer thick layer of clouds is the first impression of this goddess of love. Living on the Earth, we had adored this goddess from the bottom of our heart. After that, the land of the Venus is asking us, do you still need my introduction? I am the same you had once loved. No one can live on this horrifying planet where life is out of question for two reasons. First is the atmospheric pressure on the Venus that is much higher than the Earth's due to 250-kilometer thick layer. Against the gaseous pressure of 14.7 pound per square inch on the Earth, it is 1300 on the Venus. It is 90 times more on the Venus than our blue world. The pressure is so high that even a strong vehicle would get pressed, let alone a man. Therefore, the life in a developed form is hard to find on the Venus. Perhaps any sign of life in its preliminary form would be found on the Venus, like unicellular algae, bacteria, or at least any mycoplasma that are the simplest forms of life. There is another reason for the absence of life on the Venus. That another prerequisite of life is water and the oxygen. The oxygen in the Venus atmosphere is negligible, while anti-life gas carbon dioxide is 96%. How much this combination is dreadful may be assessed from the fact that atmosphere on the Earth has 78% of nitrogen and 21% oxygen and 0.1% carbon dioxide, not even 1%. Hence the Earth got a reason to beget life. This equation on the Venus is diametrically reverse. The
The Venus also does not have the flowing water, another most vital condition of life. In this situation, making efforts to find out life on the Venus amounts to living in the fool's paradise. What is this? Granite exists on the Venus, and granite does not form without water, that too in a very large quantity, like the water in the seas. Does it show the presence of seas ever on the Venus? The answer is yes, as the Venus in the beginning was quite like the Earth. Billions of years ago, when our solar system came into being, the Earth and the Venus were alike. Both had the seas of surging tides, hence they did not differ much. But later, the Venus continued to drift to the Sun and grew in heat accordingly.
Then the atmospheric ring around the Venus became so thick and dense that they turned the planet into a hell. The sunlight enters the atmosphere but does not reflect. So the Venus continued to absorb heat for millions of years and acquired unimaginably high temperature. The temperature on the Venus has touched 471 degrees centigrade. Rather, it is higher than 472 at some other places on the Venus. So the intense gaseous pressure, acidic rains, stormy winds, countless alive volcanoes have proved that the Venus is not all suitable for human living. Look at the compressed burnt iron structure on the Venus surface, which is the remnant of Venera 3. 3 years prior man's landing on the Moon, Russia in 1966 launched Venera program for research on the Venus. Venera 3 of the program landed on the Venus on March 1, 1966. To be more precise, it fell on the Venus. Because it was a failed landing. It was unmanned mission, meaning nobody was traveling in that mission. The Venera 3 turned into pieces and burnt due to intense heat and pressure as soon as it landed on the Venus. The mission did not send any information or data to the Earth. The debris of this maiden success mission of man is present on the Venus to date. The Venera also bears the print of a Soviet stamp, a hammer and a sickle. The mission failed to conduct any experiment on the Venus, yet it was the first guest on it from the Earth. Russia also sent Venera 4, 5 and 6 mission to the Venus, but they all remained unsuccessful. Russia continued to improvise the spacecraft for the next mission, overcoming the previous failures. That was why the devastating factors of the Venus failed to destroy instantly the Venera 7 on its surface. This probe, Venera 7, continued to work for 23 minutes, and it also sent signals to the Earth. After that, Venera 8 and 9 were dispatched to the Venus. Although it also disappeared in the thick cloudy loyer after 53 minutes on the Venus, yet before that, it delivered valuable report about this planet that goes for a big achievement in the space sciences. This picture before you is the first of the Venus surface. This picture was captured and sent to the Earth by Venera 9. This first colored picture was sent to the Earth from the Venus by Venera 13 in 1985. Russia, America and Japan have so far sent altogether 40 spacecraft to the Venus. These missions gave mixed results, but it was Pioneer mission of NASA that furnished map of the Venus. The Pioneer was launched in 1978. It was designed not for landing on the Venus, but to revolve around the Venus and take its pictures and send them to the Earth through signals. The spacecraft landing on the Moon or a planet are already equipped with antennas. The antenna transmits radio signal to the Earth, and the huge-size radio antennas on the Earth receive these signals and refer them to the space laboratory. The laboratories have a complete system to decode these signals that are binary codes, meaning consisting of 2 digits, 0 and 1. The same procedure is used in our computer and the smartphone technology. This method provides us information from the Moon, the Mars, and hundreds of other space sites where man had sent the probe or the research missions. But it also involves an interesting problem.
that the Earth is rotating continuously. As such, a receiver on it would change its direction after 12 hours.
Venus
And here is
rotates
the question,
clockwise.
how it would catch the signals on the other side.
In the next chapter of our Universe series, we will uncover the hidden truth behind these mysteries. This is not just a series, it's a journey. So subscribe to the channel and hit like to become a part of it. Many more mind-blowing and exciting universe stories are coming soon. Don't miss what's coming next.